right. So welcome here this morning to a little bit of seated yoga, gentle stretching here. My name is Jena. I am a full-time personal trainer here at the JCC, and I teach a lot of variety of classes. So I'm on the calendar for at least 5 or 6 solid classes, and I sub a lot as well. So thank you for having me today. And starting next week, you will have Jill, who is going to be your normal instructor. So I'm just going to let another person in that just joined us. Great. All right, welcome. So go ahead and have a seat in your chair this morning. And you do not need any shoes or socks this morning. Going to work on some feet stuff, probably toes. It's just nice to open up the feet every once in a while, get them out of those shoes. So let's go ahead and take an opportunity to relax the upper body into your chair, back and the legs and the feet onto the floor. And take that awareness into your breathing here this morning. So this is your time to just tune out to anything around you externally and just really bring the focus and the awareness into your physical body and your physical breath. Just a nice way to start the day. Great day to recover from higher, more challenging activities you might have done in the past couple of days. Inhaling through your nose, and try to make the exhale just a little bit longer than your inhale. And I want you to continue your breath as comfortable as you can here. And as you continue your breathing, we are going to go into our shoulders. We're going to start to elevate those shoulders up towards the ceiling and slide them to the back of the room and then down towards the floor and then forward to the wall in front of you. Elevate up towards the ceiling, back, down, and forward. So purposefully making a nice square motion with those shoulders, activating all of those upper back muscles that move the shoulders around, shoulder blades. Getting as much shoulder blade motion as you can here. Arms are just relaxed at the side of the body. Continue to use your breath to go through this motion. And on your next one, you'll elevate, you'll press back, and you'll slide down, and you'll hold this position. Really feel those shoulder blades slid together, activating those upper back muscles, contracting nice and firm while you continue to inhale and exhale, expanding that rib cage wider with every inhale. On your next exhale, just release the upper back muscles. And we're going to take the attention into the neck here, bringing your left ear to your left shoulder, back to the center, and right ear to the right shoulder. And again. And again. This time when you bring your left ear back to your left shoulder, you're going to reach away from your body with that right arm, as if someone is pulling your arm away from your body. Play around with what angle feels best. Maybe bringing it down like a 45 or 30-degree angle feels a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more of a stretch. The higher you come up, of course, the more you're contracting these muscles. More important to reach out. And again, breathe and make sure that head is just relaxing off to the left side of your body. The back of the right shoulder blade should be melting into your chair back. Release that arm back down, heads come back up to neutral. Let that right ear fall over to the right shoulder here and start to reach that left arm out as if someone is pulling that arm to the side of the room. Check that you're not elevating the shoulder up. Again, that shoulder blade is down. Everything is long. You might feel more comfortable bringing it down to a 45 or a 30-degree angle. And that left shoulder blade is pinned back against your chair back. As you continue to exhale and release that head off to the right shoulder. And bringing everything back up, arm at your side here. Let's go ahead and do some just nice, gentle, full shoulder circles, not segregating each motion, just connecting, nice fluid motion here through those shoulders. And reverse that direction, going around, forward. Feel that chest contracting together as you bring the shoulders forward. And release. I'm going to take those arms out into the front of the body, opening up to a nice expanded chest, turning the palms as you continue to open up to the back of the rooms. Thumbs are reaching to the back of the rooms. Again, shoulders are pressing up against your chair back. Make sure you're not trying to hold your arms up, shrugging with those upper trapezius muscles. Those shoulders melt down your back. Again, thumbs as much as you can get them to the back of the room. On your next exhale, bringing those arms up and around, turning the palms away from each other, reaching down the inside of your legs, letting the elbows slide to the inside of the knees. And when you're ready, just exhale and let that head fall, opening up through the upper back, the vertebra, rib cage expands with every inhale. And exhale just to release a little bit more, maybe fall a little bit closer towards that floor. Grounding your legs and pressing into the ground with those feet, you're going to start to roll that spine back up to a seated position here. Inhale and open up those arms again. Turning the palms towards the ceiling, thumbs to the back of the room. Drop the shoulders and the arms just a little bit here. Sliding those shoulder blades towards each other. And as your shoulder blades are drawing towards each other, pull that navel in, almost like you're hollowing out your core and contracting those abdominals. And just stay here for a couple breaths and bring some awareness into the strength of isometrically contracting all of those core muscles. You still can breathe, so we're not sucking in and making our body skinnier by pulling the rib cage up. We're actually keeping the rib cage down and contracting. I always think about someone tickling and really bracing those core muscles. Take an inhale again. And exhale, scoop those arms up and around, thumbs go down, back of the palms towards each other, back of the hands, and reaching down to the insides of those lower legs. Shoulders to the inside of the knees, and just let the head melt when you get to your bottom position. Take a refreshing inhale. Exhale, feel your head and your neck get a little bit heavier. Make sure you let it drop. You're not trying to look at the floor. You're trying to look at your chair seat. Inhale again. Press your feet into the ground firmly and roll up through that spine to a seated position again. Nice and gentle here. Good. And we're going to draw those legs together, feet are going to be nice and close together here. I want you to make sure that your hips are to the back of your chair, and hopefully you have a chair without any handles on. Try to grab your chair bottom. You're actually thinking about pulling up into the chair. I want you to really support your core while you extend that knee out, really contracting, thinking about pulling those kneecaps up towards your hip joint here. Point your toes, and then let's spread those toes apart as you draw the toes up towards the ceiling and push the heels away. Continue to pull into your chair, but there's no shrugging. You're actually pulling those shoulders down and back, and point those toes again. Get the arches of the feet to really do their work here. Contracting that thigh muscle, thinking about sliding that kneecap up towards your hip joint. And again, spread the toes as wide as you can, and then turn the toes up towards the ceiling, pushing that heel away. Feel the back of your leg getting longer. Supporting the core with your arms so we're not rounding over. And then just relax that foot, bend the knee. Good. And we're actually going to start to tuck. So you'll bend your knee and you're going to kind of tuck your toes under and get the tops of your toes or your foot onto the floor. So I'm just going to change my chair positioning so you can see, bending back, tucking that ankle under, letting the tops of your toes or your foot. So many of you might be really tight in your ankle because you spend all day in a tennis shoe, right? And we don't really get into full dorsiflexion, plantar flexion in our foot. So if you need to, you might have to scooch to the front of your chair to really pull that foot back. So play around with whatever feels best, but we're trying to get the top of your toes and your foot to just relax into the ground. We're really not pushing any tension into that foot. Just let the weight of the leg rest into the front of that ankle and the front of your lower leg. And breathe. So you're going to use those hamstring muscles to pull the heel back up towards your seat, and then extend that leg out and relax it onto the ground. Good. So we're going to switch to the other side here. You're going to hold on to your chair and start to lengthen through that other leg, really contracting that thigh muscle. We're really not trying to lift up right now. We're getting that knee to full extension, using all those muscles in the front of our legs, pulling into the chair so that if you don't quite have this full mobility, that your back won't feel like it wants to round. You're going to cheat a little bit, using that chair to really keep good posture muscles. Pointing your toes as hard as you can. We're going to go into spreading the toes apart and then turning those toes up towards the body, pressing the heel away, lengthening through the back of the body. Really feel those thigh muscles firing here. And breathe. Everything is slow and deliberate today. Pointing those toes again and using the arch of your foot to bring those toes towards the floor, still contracting through the front of that thigh. If your muscles start to cramp, they're just really not used to contracting. You can always bend the knee and get right back into it again to give it a little release. Let's spread those toes again, turning the toes up towards your body, lengthening through the back of the leg, pulling into your chair as needed. And again, the reason I have you doing that is because not everyone is flexible enough to keep their body upright with their leg extended. So their chances are here, if you pull into your chair, you can kind of force your spine to be a little bit longer here and getting that stretch through the back. And relax that foot, bring it down to the ground. You're going to continue to pull your heel towards your seat using those hamstring muscles, and then get the tops of the toes, the top of the foot to the ground, and just relax in this setting. And breathe. Chances are some of your feet, your toes are turning in and your ankle is rolling out. Just try to take a peek if you need to see what's happening, or just be aware that that ankle should not go out to the side of the room. If the arch of your foot is cramping, try to breathe through it. Try to relax. Try to let it cramp, and it'll go away. Couple more breaths here. Again, try not to let that ankle roll out. Keep the ankle, the knee, and the toes in alignment. You're going to pull your heel towards your upper leg again, and then flex that foot and relax it back on the ground. Good. We're going to do a little seated mini sun salutation here. So sitting up nice and tall into your chair, feet are going to be together. We're going to inhale up. Exhale as your arms come down to a T, and you're going to swan dive forward, letting the chest and the rib cage fall onto the thighs. Head drops down to the ground. We're going to do a halfway lift with an inhale, fingertips towards the floor, chest lifts, the crown of your head presses to the wall in front of you. On your next exhale, roll back down again into your forward fold here. Inhale to hold again. Exhale, press the feet into the ground, reach the arms to the side of the room, lead with your upper back to a seated position again. Let's do that again. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive it down, lead with the chest, fingertips float to the ground, head to the ground. Inhale to hold. Exhale, halfway lift, crown of the head, top of the head to the wall in front of you. Breathe through as you go back into a forward fold. Inhale to hold. Exhale, open those arms to the side of the room, slide the shoulder blades together, lead with your upper back. One more time. Inhale up. A little sun salutation. Open up, chest down, arms down, float the head down. Inhale to hold. Exhale, halfway lift. Back straight. Inhale to hold. Exhale, back down again. Inhale to hold. Exhale, open the arms out to the side of the room, pin the shoulder blades together, and then the upper back leads all the way to a seated position. Relax those arms at your side. Good. We're going to open up those legs. We're staying seated in our chair, making sure that you have a little bit of space through your from the front of the chair to your groin. So hips are quite a ways back. So our goal here is to have our ankles right now underneath the knees. Now, not everyone's going to be able to open up their legs really far to the side of the room. So you do have to pay attention to where your knees and your ankles are in line. So if I come out wider than what my hips allow me to, what'll happen is my knees will roll in. So if you look like this, you need to walk your feet in a little bit closer and just make your V a little bit smaller. So play around with that. Ankles are going to be underneath the knees so that you can firmly press into the ground. And I want you to engage those glute muscles and sit into your chair back. You might even want to press through the palms to take advantage, or fingertips, to take advantage of that chair back to support good posture. Really activating those inner thigh muscles and the glutes to push out and down into the floor. It's as if the chair was to move away, I'd be able to hold my body upright. And breathe through this. We're going to take one arm out to the side, bringing it straight up, paying attention to the shoulder. Maybe it wants to stop here. Maybe you're able to open up a little bit through the upper back and the side, but no elevating through that shoulder. Continue to press through the legs. You should feel those muscles activated. Other arm is going to come down to that thigh, and you're going to slide that back along your chair. Let that head fall off to the side and get a nice stretch through the neck, reaching up and over. Let's try to avoid rounding forward. Use your chair back today, please. Breathe through this. Make sure those legs are still activated and pressing into the ground. On your next exhale, bring everything up, reaching with the arm all the way out to the side. Inhale to hold. Exhale, other arm is going to reach out and up, making sure we're avoiding any elevation here. Keeping that shoulder down, getting a nice stretch and reach through that side of the body. When you're ready, you'll start to come over to the side, letting the back relax into your chair, forearm to the side, to the thigh, and that head again just falls. Let it fall with gravity. Let those muscles relax and stretch. How about those legs? Keep activating into the ground. On your next exhale, you reach up again towards the ceiling, pushing that arm out and down. Good. We're going to go ahead and just fold at our hips a little bit. So our shoulders are leaning over the front of our chair, but we're not rounded over. So play around with what feels best for your inner thighs. We're also going to walk those feet in a little bit closer. I want you to find where your heels can still be in contact with the floor. So if they're popping up and they're not able to reach, then you need to walk out a little bit further. So this is where we can kind of work on that ankle mobility here. We should look like a little froggy with the ankles on the inside of the knee. I'm still activating and pressing down. I'm activating my glutes and pressing those knees to the sides of the room. Using my hands because I'm flexed forward, I'm going to gently press through the legs, press to my arms, and hold this position here. And breathe. This should be pretty challenging here. On your next exhale, you're going to slowly lower the hips using the control through the muscles. Inhale, reaching the arms up, pressing into the ground here. Exhale down, hands on the front of the chair again. Flexing at the hip. Inhale to hold and get ready. One more press. Pressing through the legs, hovering on the chair. Inhale to hold. Slowly lower. Use those leg muscles. Bringing your body up. Big inhale again. And exhale, everything comes down. And let's start to walk those feet out in front of our body. Good. So we're going to do some seated activation of those hamstrings and really work on our knee flexion. We're also going to do that standing, but starting with seated. So we're going to work on sitting to the front of our chair here. And we're going to bring the knee up slightly, using that chair for as much support. So since we have a chair, let's cheat, if you will, and really feel what it feels like to have a good posture. Push the arms or the palms into your chair to accentuate that nice straight spine. You're hovering your foot, you're going to point your toes, and you're bringing your heel towards your seat as much as your knee will allow you, as much as your hamstring will activate. And we're going to go into an extension. And again, knee comes up, we bend the heel, and then come back down with the knee. One more time, extend. Knee comes up, bring that ankle back, drive the knee down, really activating those hamstrings here. And bring it up and relax that foot down. Pressing through the palms again, still staying activated through a nice long core, creating space through all those vertebrae. Bringing that knee up, bend, we're on the other leg now, drive the knee towards the ground, contracting those hamstring muscles. Knee comes up a little bit and extend. One more, knee up, bend the knee, and drive that knee down a little bit, holding that heel towards the seat. Bringing the knee up and extend. Relax that foot back down. Good. Let's place those hands on the front of the thighs here. We're going to work on going into an extension, driving the chest and the rib cage broad, sliding the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, you're going to pull everything in and round over. Grab the fronts of your knees as if you're hanging on to something, your knees, and you're rolling back, opening up through the vertebra. Open up again, chest and rib cage forward. Slide those shoulder blades together here. And exhale as you contract your front of your core and scoop around. One more time, open up, get nice extension, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, rounding over. And we'll sit up nice and tall. We're going to turn our bodies to the side of your chair here. So the chair back is on one side of your body. Okay. And I want you to scooch over to the edge of your chair so that this thigh is still on your chair and this hip. But this side is free to open up and there's no chair underneath that hip. So you're going to want to use your chair bottom for support, back, whatever, feels comfortable for you. Let's work on keeping that ankle right underneath the knee and knee in line with the hip. So it's going to want to roll in and do weird things. We're trying to keep that straight. So go ahead and support with the chair. And you might be able to just slide your leg back, or you might have to turn it out to the side here a little bit to get it back there. And this first one, I want us to try to have our hip or our knee extended back, our back heel is lifted. So I'm just going to change my position here so you can see. So whatever way you were able to get that leg down there or back there, and you're going to extend, and now we're pushing through the ball of the foot, driving that heel back, really getting a nice extension. Instead of holding ourselves into hyperextension, let's stay leaning forward, straight line from the crown of your head all the way through your spine. Now, in yoga, we work on holding these postures with the strength of our leg. So I want you to still think about pushing down. If we were going to hover the chair, there's space here. So if you want to build into a little bit more of a strength, you're going to push harder and elevate that thigh slightly off your chair. You can still stay leaning forward. You can reach an arm out. You can reach the other arm out. So it's up to you how much you want to press. But even if you're relaxed into your thigh, you're still pressing down with both legs. Holding this for another inhale. And exhale, hands down. And bring everything in. Walk that leg around or just tuck it in. We're going to stay facing this side of the room. Both hips remain on your chair now. On your next exhale, reach around to that chair back. Get a nice gentle spinal twist. Getting those knees in alignment. Inhale again to hold. And exhale. Remember, your breath may not always be exactly where my cueing is. That's usually unrealistic. The key is to just make sure you're taking your breath and using it to your advantage. And we're not holding it and shortening it. We're trying to make it slower and more meaningful. On your next exhale, you'll bring your body back in line with your knees. And we're going to walk ourselves over to the other side of our chair. So we'll scooch over to where, again, that hip is off of our chair, that thigh is off of our chair, and the majority of this thigh and the hip is on the chair. Supporting whatever way you need to. Just walk with me either around or straight back. You're getting your knee, hip, ankle all in alignment. This is too wide. This is too narrow. Straight back from that hip. Check this leg. See how my foot wanted to walk in. Get it realigned. Just check it down there. And you're going to lean that body forward versus going into hyperextension today. Straight line from the crown of your head down. Really press that heel back. Strengthen through the quad and that glute back there. You're pressing into the floor. If you want to, you can press a little harder to lift the thigh up off of the chair. Really using the strength of the legs. Okay, regardless, you're pushing down. Extend with one arm as able. Extend with the other one as able. And breathe here. I'm not focused towards the ceiling or the wall in front of me. I'm focused at the ground, so my head is neutral. Start to bring those arms down. If you chose to extend them, relax the leg muscles. Walk that leg around again, getting both hips onto your chair. Knees are going to stay in alignment, and we're going to rotate to the other side. Using the chair to your advantage, pull with the front arm, push with the back arm as you twist through the spine, keeping it nice and tall. Here's where you really want to breathe again. On your next exhale, you're going to rotate back to the front. And we'll turn those legs. Everything is going to come forward again. I'd like to work into a little bit of a standing hip extension, back extension. So we're going to make our way to a standing position. Sitting all the time is going to just really lock up those hip flexors. They get very tight, very weak, right? And then the back muscles also, if those get tight, it pulls our pelvis forward. We're going to work on opening up through those hips in a standing position. Very similar to the lunging, but I actually want you to take the back toe and get the top of the toes on the ground again. And you're going to push through that front leg. And we're going to work on bringing the shoulders over our hips. So again, kind of drawing forward a little bit, engaging the glutes. The arm of the extended leg is going to reach to the ceiling. And if you feel comfortable on your next exhale, open the chest to the front of the room. Let the thumb of the extended arm go towards the back of the room. And breathe. And bring everything forward. Sliding that foot, stepping that foot back in. We're going to do that on the other leg or other side. So just take that toe back there, gently lay the tops of the toes onto the ground. And you're going to use this front leg and your hips to drive forward. The arm of the back leg reaches up. Breathe through your motions here. Inhale to hold. And if you would like to, try to go a little bit more into extension, bringing those shoulders behind the hip, chest out. The arm goes towards the wall behind you. Feel that lengthening all the way from the front of the shoulder joint, all the way down to the tops of the toes. On your next exhale, bring everything back up and just step that leg forward. So very carefully, you're going to find a position where you're not pushing into your chair. You're using it for support. Oftentimes, we're not able to bring that arm up to full flexion because these muscles are so tight in our upper back, right, and our traps. We're going to use our chair to stabilize the arms, and then we're going to use our body to start to stretch those muscles out and lengthen. So your hips are going to reach to the back of the room. You can have a bend in your knees, or if you feel comfortable, you can straighten out those knees. Whatever feels best for you, find the positioning so that when you bring your chest towards the floor, you feel solid in your legs. Now, don't force anything in here. The minute you find that your back wants to round over, then you've gone too far. So only go back to where your back can stay straight. For some of us, it might be here. For others, you might even be able to bring that head closer to the floor and go into more of an extension. And breathe here. Support with the arms and the legs, and just let the chest open up to the floor. Now, this is going to feel a little bit more comfortable if you have a couch or a tabletop or something where you can open up your arms wider. But today we'll just use our chair, and let's go ahead and bring everything back up again. We're going to do that once again. Drive the hips back. Don't force anything. Breathe. Find your end point. Take an inhale when you're there. Exhale. Try to let your body relax and sink a little further, but don't force. Inhale again. And start to bring that body up and walk those legs in and forward. Good. Staying in a standing position, you might want to bring your body to the side of your chair. Good. And I want you to take that outside arm, that palm is forward in what we call an anatomical position. So we spend a lot of our day with our palms forward, our palms here, and then we internally rotate through the shoulder, getting these muscles weak and these muscles tight, right? So we're going to work on just turning the palm forward, which is basically rotating that arm in that shoulder socket, opening up here, using your chair for stability here. We're going to work a little bit on balance. So really we're in mountain pose just on one side of the body here. Bending the knee slightly. Everything is strong through this side of the body. Sliding those tippy toes up the inside of that lower leg with the knee forward. And breathe. If you'd like to take a little extra challenge, you can choose to close those eyes and feel that nervous system work to really keep that body balanced. You have your chair here for stability and support. Keep the chest lifted and broad. Thumb out to the side of the room. And if you chose to close your eyes, you're going to slowly open them and slide that foot down. We're going to walk ourselves or turn our chair, either walk to the other side of the chair, bring the chair to your other side so that you have that security for support. Same thing on this other side. So we're going to turn the palm forward, thumb to the side of the room. Exaggerate and open up those fingertips, right? Again, we spend a lot of time gripping. Let's open up and extend those fingertips. Peel that shoulder back. Make sure we're not rolled forward. Stable on the side that's closest to your chair. You're going to start to bend the knee, sliding the inside of the foot up the inside of the lower leg. And breathe. Here's where you can choose to close your eyes if you want to challenge that balance a little bit. Get comfortable with your body, wanting to move and fight the movement. If you chose to close your eyes, you're going to slowly open them. And pressing that foot back down. Good. And relax. I think we worked on this last week. Everyone's going to bring their seat to the chair back. Ankles right underneath you. Find out where your feet feel most comfortable. This is bringing them together is going to be the most challenging. Right underneath your hips is like a neutral stance. But some of you might need to go a little wider to feel, think about like a tripod that you set a camera on. The wider the base, the more stable it is, right? So play around with that to see what's going to feel most comfortable for you. I'm going to challenge myself by bringing my ankles in really close. Regardless of your stance, you're tucking your tailbone under, engaging the core because this is where your support comes from. You've got your glutes against your chair to feel comfortable. We're not leaning into it by all means, but it's just there. Shoulders are going to open up, thumbs to the side of the room. Pick a focal point straight in front of you. And if your balance is challenged here, you're going to stay here. If not, I'm going to challenge you to close those eyes and work on your breathing. If your eyes are closed, open them once again, and then release. Good. 30 seconds up to a minute with our eyes closed. Progressing away from a stable object is our goal. Good. So let's go ahead and just have a seat. And I'm going to quiet my voice, and I'm just going to let you, for the last minute here, just relax, listen to the music, and focus in on your breath.